And the first thing I want to ask right before I start is, raise your hand if you know who Allama Iqbal is. Okay, I didn't expect that many people to raise their hand, to be honest. But that's good that you know who he is. So Allama, for those who don't know, Allama Iqbal is like a big philosopher from South Asia. He's known as Shair Mashriq, the poet from the East. And he had a lot of contributions to South Asia's political thought, religious thought. And looking at the political climate today, we see that there's a lot of tension in regards to different countries in the world speaking out for different issues which are going on, and people in different countries not being as vocal for their own reasons because of their own nationalist tendencies. So to start off with, I wanted to start from one nazm of Allama Iqbal from Jawab-e-Shikwa. So basically, in the early 1910s, Iqbal wrote this poem, A Person's Complaint to God. And so the religious class got really mad at that time. They were like, how can you do that? How can you complain to God? So Iqbal wrote something called Jawab-e-Shikwa, the answer to the Shikwa from Allah. And Iqbal starts off by saying, शोर है हो गए दुनिया से मुसलमान नाबूद हम ये कहते हैं कि कहीं थे मुस्लिम मौजूद वज़ा में तुम नसारा तो तमद्दुन में हदूद ये मुसलमान हैं जिन्हें देख के शर्माए यहूद यूं तो सैयद भी हो मिर्ज़ा भी हो अफ़गान भी हो तुम सभी कुछ हो बताओ तुम मुसलमान भी हो. Basically, Iqbal in this poem is asking Muslims, you say you are many different tribes and nations and races, but like you don't unite. You don't consider yourself your biggest identity, which is Muslim, your Muslim identity. So after he wrote this, there was a big outcry by the nationalists in South Asia, who said, how are you categorizing us as such wrong? So he wrote a poem called Wataniyat, which means nationalism. And he starts out by saying, इस दौर में मैं और है, जाम और है जम और, साकी ने बिना की रविश लुत्फ सितम और, मुस्लिम ने भी तामीर किया अपना हरम और, तहजीब के आज़र ने तरशवाए सनम और. Basically, to stop here first and explain what this means, Iqbal is saying that now with the new times and with new rulers in this world, the customs are changing. What he's pointing towards is that this new time it's the time of nation states, different countries, smaller countries in the world. And he continues and says, इन ताज़ा खुदाओं में बड़ा सबसे वतन है, जो पैरहन इसका है, वो मजहब का कफन है. Iqbal is saying that in these new gods which the people have created, because in his terminology, these small nation states are considered things that people are now worshipping their own land. They're worshipping, they're doing shirk basically. They're considering their identity as, whatever small territory they live in as their identity. Where in reality, this is a thing that which buries your Muslim identity. So he says, जो पैरहन इसका है वो मजहब का कफन है. ये बुत के तराशीद तहजीब नबी है, गारत गरे का शाना दीन नबवी है. He says that this idol that they have created, this new product of civilization, it's blundered the structure of what the Prophet ﷺ came up with. The concept of, putting aside tribes and putting aside nationality, because we know that different companions of the Prophet ﷺ, such as Salman al-Farsi, who came all the way from Iran, right? He was still part of, the concept of being Muslim, and people were just as proud about him as they were about the other Arabs at the time. So Iqbal says that this is burying the concept of what the Prophet ﷺ brought. बाजू तेरा तौहीद के कुव्वत से कवी है, इस्लाम तेरा देश है, तू मुस्तफवी है. He's saying that the concept of tawheed, unity, oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is what your strength is. Not your nationality, not your localization. In fact, he says that Islam tera desh hai, tu mustafavi hai. Your nation is Islam because you're a follower of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. नज़रारा देरीना ज़माने को दिखा दे, ए मुस्तफ़वी खाक में इस बुत को मिला दे. Basically, Iqbal is saying that these new creations, show them the strength of the Prophet ﷺ and his message. Khak mein is butt ko mila de. Bring this idol, bring it down. Bring it down, because what you need to follow is the footsteps of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us and what the Prophet ﷺ said. हो कैद मकामी तो नतीजा है तबाही रहबर में आज़ाद वतन सूरत माही. Iqbal says that ho qaid maqami, if you're stuck in small pieces, then you're not going to be able to grow out of it. So natija hai tabahi. The ending is going to be bad if you're going to be secluded to small exclusivists. Hai tarke watan sunnat mehboob ilahi de tu bhi nabuwat ki sadaqat pe gawahi. Iqbal says hai tarke watan, the ending of the concept of watan, the national concept of nationalism, ending it is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, who was against tribalism, who was against nationalism. And if you promote this nationalism, you promote your own identity as a Pakistani or an Indian or a Bangladeshi or an Arab, if you promote that identity over that of you being Muslim, you're going against the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. Guftar-e siyasat mein watan aur hi kuch hai. Irshad-e nabuwat mein watan aur hi kuch hai. Basically, Iqbal is saying that when it comes to politics, the concept of watan, the concept of nation, nationality, it becomes very evil if you look at it, because it becomes very exclusivist, right? But when it comes to the concept of nationality and the Prophet ﷺ and what he said, it's not exclusivist. It's for all of mankind, right? Aqwam-e jahan mein raqabat to isi se, taskhir-e maqsood-e tijarat to isi se. The concept of rivalry and animosity and rivalry and war between different groups is because of this concept of Wataniyat. And the concept of, exclusive trade and different people around the world not getting resources, right? We see that many countries in this world aren't given the same kind of chances, opportunities, resources as other countries. This is because of this evil concept of Wataniyat and nationalism, because everyone is going out for themselves. It's very exclusivist. Khali hai sadaqat to siyasat isi se, kamzor ka gar hota hai gharat to isi se. That the truthfulness in your politics and truthfulness in your policy making, it goes away because of this concept of wataniyat. And the concept of the poor and the concept of people who are weaker in society, they get pummeled. They get pummeled because this concept of exclusivism is out there. अक़वाम में मखलूक़ खुदा बढ़ती है इससे, कौमियत इस्लाम की जड़ कटती है इससे. कौमियत इस्लाम की जड़ कटती है इससे. The concept of nationality within Islam is being produced, is being put to an end. And when, it's interesting because Iqbal, a common theme in Iqbal's poetry is he tells us that if you go far away from the concept of what the Prophet ﷺ says, your concept of Islam, and you're going away from it, then you're ending it, you're bringing it down. And we don't want that. We want Islam to carry on for generations and generations. So, Jazakallah khair. So, I hope you guys take that lesson out with you and keep your Muslim identity upmost and, the most important thing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!